Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome to episode 3 that accompanies this monetizing your speaking workshop. Today, I want to remind you of something, and it took me a long time to clock this. And so, what I might be saying here may seem really obvious, but it took me a long time for the penny to drop. I thought that in order to become a speaker where you work with businesses, you might work with individuals, you might talk about careers, I thought you had to wear a really staticky, shiny, royal blue suit. So if you were a man, you had to wear that like matching tie and shirt combination. You know, the ones that they used to do in Next where it's like, okay, I'm just going to buy 5 of these packets that have a tie and a shirt. So I know I've got Monday to Friday. And then like a really badly tailored suit. Likewise with women, it was very much about having thick tights, big chunky heels and a pencil suit and looking very like no makeup and looking very serious and corporate. And I realized that a lot of those things, like the royal blue font that was happening in the decks, a lot of it didn't resonate with me because I wasn't from that corporate background. And some of it I just found a bit boring, a bit predictable. I found myself just thinking, oh, I wish they would just like send the deck and then I can learn it. Or sometimes I would see people who would do that really strange speaking situation where they'd actually humiliate people in the audience and like get them to stand up or stand on like something awful that you just go, why are we here? This does not feel good in any shape or form. And so for a long time, I didn't think that I could get paid for speaking, even though I have in other areas of my life been paid for speaking for 25 years. And suddenly it dawned on me. Suddenly it made me realize, oh, speaking is not just one thing. It's not just one kind of stage. It's not one kind of basement conference. We can speak on panels. We can speak on social media. We can speak in collaborations with brands. We can conduct workshops in beautiful, luxurious 5-star hotels. We can do all of this. It doesn't just have to be a flip chart and a boring deck. And I realized that I was stopping the money coming in. Now, maybe you have done the same. Maybe you are looking at your industry and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I belong there. It just doesn't feel right to me. I want to do something different, but I just don't know how to get started. The first thing I want you to do, and you don't have to share this with anybody, is write down all the things you do not like about your industry. Sometimes one of the things for me was more style than substance. So people who would be really hyped onto the stage and there'd be like a big loud, wow, here's the person coming up onto the stage. And it's like, are they going to wrestle? Are they? What's happening? What's going on? And then the person would come up and then they'd be really boring. And I just thought, actually, I want less lights and less kind of wrestling energy and more moments where people come away and go, oh my gosh, I've had an epiphany for my life. This feels amazing. Or another thing I wanted to do was to speak freely, like on videos like this, where somebody maybe has had me propped up on their phone and they've been cooking their dinner and they suddenly had a moment where they go, I'm going to start this tomorrow. I know my kids don't get up until 6 and I'm often awake before then because my sleep is crazy. I'm going to get up at 5 tomorrow and I'm going to work on this business. I'm going to get it started once and for all, and I'm going to stop talking about it and actually do something about it. And so noticing what you don't like will give you so much information around what you do like. Thirdly, this is your moment, your opportunity, your situation where you can be in possibility to do something. To give yourself that permission to be a disruptor, a change maker, to bring some vibrancy to the conversation. I think even if we look at something really similar, like a school teacher who would always do like a fun Friday assembly. They would get the songs in, they would get the birthdays in, they'd get the prayers in if you went to a religious school. And then they just know how to liven things up. They knew how to connect to the kids. They knew how to teach in a way where the kid was like, oh yeah, I get it. And it was kind of fun as well. I want you to think about what you bring to the table. And maybe again, when you think about what you don't like, really think about what you do like. Maybe it was a podcast episode that you listen to again and again. Maybe it's somebody who shares content in an interesting way. Maybe it's just you moving, say, to a background like this in your house, rather than feeling like you have to have a weird like Zoom background and it feeling really corporate. You get to decide it all. Also, one final note is if you do it in a way that feels good, we are going to really get on board with that infectious energy. We're going to be right there with you. So we are waiting for you. You may as well do this. I would love to know what lands today. If you want help with speaking, visibility, content, press, putting yourself out there, come over and do Speak Up. There are 3 ways to join. And if you add magic at checkout right now, you can save 20%. I'll see you there. It's a good one. Lots of love. Bye.